So this is titanium buff, burnt umber, yellow ochre or yellow oxide, and dioxazine purple or ultramarine violet. It doesn't matter. Both are fine. And I take a bit of that dioxazine purple or purple. I'm gonna just call it purple. Just put it in that carefully. If you're using dioxazine purple, it's darker and stronger than ultramarine violet, so you will need less. And I'm going to take a bit of the burnt umber and put it in as well. That gives me more of a earthy purple. Yeah, that will do. Maybe a bit more of purple. And then if you have it should be dark, but it should be a dark that's not flat. In that dark, you're going to see a bit of purple, a bit of burnt umber, a bit of yellow, but it's all earthy tones. Because the reason we need this to be dark is just because it is in the shadow, it's shady. And when we start putting our highlights, they will pop. The highlights will pop. Those dabs of sun, that's what I mean highlight, the dabs of sun. So if you have a light background, they're not gonna pop. Use an old brush.
Leo, what's the primary color that comes through though? Is purple then? Is the primary color purple or is it more burnt umber?
Mostly purple, no, purple.
Okay.
It's like an earthy purple. It's not like a strong, heavy, you know what I mean? It's not like, you can see the purple, but it's not, you can see it, but it blends with the ground. It's not a pure purple. Because it has, but yes, purple.
But Lael, your 3 steps are not purple, right?
These two?
The 3 steps are more like the walls.
Oh, this and that, right?
Yeah.
Those 3. Yes, they're like the wall. Yes, this is what we're going to use for the dabs of sun in here. They should connect with the steps. Actually, it's only 2 steps, this one and that one. And this is just the rest of the floor. From here to here is 1 level. From here to here, 1 level. This is just the sun. This patch, this is the patch, sunny patch.
This looks really dark compared to what I'm getting.
It is dark here too. Is it like this dark? Is it, or is it darker what you're getting?
No, I think I'm getting lighter, but I think it's because I've got it too watery maybe.
Let me put that.
Yeah.
Titanium buff. A bit of burnt umber. And I'm gonna go, this is a bright, flat. I'm gonna come here and just go down with my brush stroke. You don't want to cover it completely. You want to get a bit of texture in here. So it shouldn't be flat. This is purple.
Sorry, Lael, my internet went out for about 3 minutes there. Can you, just when you said Naples yellow and white, so sorry, can you just tell me what you're doing?
Sure, it's, so I'm using right now, it's titanium buff.
Yeah.
And I'm putting a touch of burnt umber in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'm just gonna wipe my brush, and I'm doing the steps, the actual what is it called? This part.
The riser.
Riser, the riser. But it's stone, right? So it shouldn't be flat. You should see a bit of burnt umber, a bit of purple in that. This is the base color, which is titanium buff, and then you're putting in it different colors. If you look at the original, if you look at the photo, you will see that it has some kind of a beautiful texture. We will be applying a strong color on this, but this is the first layer. Strong light. That's awesome. That's great. Okay. Now, I'm going to take white, put it into the titanium buff and Naples yellow. Okay, again, I'm going to wipe my brush clean.
Is it white and Naples?
Naples yellow,
Mhm.
a bit of white, and titanium buff.
Okay.
Just with my brush, very softly, and it's same kind of a smaller brush. I'm going across and putting that strong highlight of the light part. Ah,
Support.
It's more white than,
pardon?
more white than buff.
No, more buff than white.
Yeah. Oh,
More buff than white. White is strong. White is very strong. It takes over. So it's buff. I'm putting a bit of white in it to make it lighter, and a touch of the Naples yellow for the sun. This is, just to show the sun part. So whenever you want to show a sunny part, you want to put some yellow in it, because that's what you get when you have a sunny patch. So if you put an off-white to show light, it would be okay, but I mean, it'd be better if you put a bit of yellow in it. And I don't want to put yellow. So Naples yellow will be softer as an option. It's a very sunny patch in there, and we shouldn't really show it that way. We just take that strong highlight and we make it softer, but where it shows there's a strong light in here. So you don't want to use exactly what you see in the reference, in the photograph. It's too washed out. When you get to the edge right here, right there, try not to make it too sharp. Soften this. So when you start putting highlights, this is where you draw the attention to that area. This is what highlights are for. Your eye goes there. Yeah. Your eye goes to that. Okay. I'm going to increase a bit the amount of white right now into my titanium buff. and again, a touch, very soft Naples yellow. Because acrylic dries darker, so I have to keep on adjusting. Nice. Now, I need a soft brush. Okay, that's a good one. That's a soft kind of bristle. And I'm going to take the same thing, same highlights, maybe darken them a bit with my titanium buff, wipe, and come here, because this is dry now. So I'll come here and then just very softly add a kind of a glazing for the highlights on these steps. That's perfect. Again, wipe, glaze.
Sorry, what color did you use for the glaze?
Just that same color I'm using for the highlights right here. So it's titanium buff, a bit of white in it, and Naples yellow. So it's just the same color I'm using right here, over here. But what I did is I'm using a soft brush, and I put a touch of water, just very, not much. And I wiped my brush, so I'm getting kind of a broken texture when I apply it. It's not flat, it's not covering the steps completely. It just gives me that beautiful texture over here on those steps. Perfect, that looks great. Okay. Wipe. I really don't need to have a line right here, a strong line to show the riser and the flat part. So all I need is a soft line that will show it. And in some areas, I'm gonna, just kind of soften that. Some areas, not everywhere. Good. I'm adding a bit of white. My brush or my paint is getting dry. So I dipped the tip of my brush in a bit of water. Now, again. Just where
I was a bit behind you, so to soften the dark part of the steps, what were you using?
I got a soft bristle brush, not too harsh,
Okay.
right? And I'm using the titanium buff,
Yep.
white, touch of white in it, and just this, and a bit of water in there, so it's more transparent. And then you wipe your brush, you mix it. I'm dipping the tip of my brush in water, mixing this
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
and then wipe it, and then
Yeah, you have to wait for that part to dry because I was a little bit behind on that. too.
okay, so it's not dry yet.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think so. No, I better not try it
all right.
until it's finished, yeah.
Right, good. I'll come here and start with my dabs.
So is it titanium buff and a little bit of, still a little bit purple?
No, no purple.
Just the,
No, you're highlighting, so you don't need purple anymore.
So is it just titanium buff?
Titanium buff, a bit of white, and a touch of Naples yellow. And mix them well. Put a bit of water in there, so when you're putting those little dabs, it's not a blob. You know what I mean? It's just. We're not going to put as many as you know in that reference, but when we start at this level here, you want to start in a way that it just ease your way in with those dabs. So it's not like a strong shine light part here and then it's dabs. So I'm easing my way in slowly and softly. This is an important kind of part in here. It's not in the sometimes like here, it's not in there. If you look at that, there are no dabs where I'm putting dabs, but that's okay. I'm just like I said, I'm easing my way in.
If I don't have a round brush, would I just use the edge of a square brush small?
Yeah, yeah. We did a project long time ago when we had a door and the steps, and then we had some dabs long
Yeah.
time ago.
Definitely.
I actually sold that painting.
Now on your camera there, these dabs you're putting look pretty well the same color as the light that was at the bottom of the step. Is that right?
Exactly, because it's the same ground and it's the same area. Everything is the same,
Right.
right? So yes, yes.
Okay.
It really doesn't have to be exactly what you see in the picture, but as long as when you look at it, it looks like dabs of sun, then you're doing the right thing. I'm going to come to this area here where we have a higher edge right here, right there. And I'm going to just take with my same, I'm gonna kind of put dabs of sun down. And those dabs of sun are not this heavy usually. You know what I mean? Like sometimes they're more transparent. Sometimes they're strong. Some of them are heavier than. They're not completely flat or opaque, I should say.
is that like a wall you have
Yeah,
here?
yeah. There's like a higher, like an edge. That's if you look carefully at you'll see it. If you look carefully at the reference.
I see it in the reference, but it's not on mine. I lost it somehow.
Oh, that's okay. I lost it too, but I'm bringing it back this way by
Okay.
putting the highlights, the sun, the dabs of sun, because these dabs of sun are going vertical right now, not horizontal,
Mm.
the wall. So I'm bringing the shape of the wall back by doing those dabs of sun
Oh,
without having to put an actual line. So this is vertical because of the wall. Okay, and then it's going to go horizontal right here because that's ground. And automatically your eye is going to connect. It's going to see a wall and a ground right there. Oh my God, this is the most relaxing thing.
Part of my wall is buried under leaves, so I only have to do a little bit.
So I'm working really slowly because when I work slowly, I can control and see when I look at my painting, if it looks still, it's still looking like dabs of sun. When I go fast, then I miss. I'm going to be missing. Okay, awesome. I know we're spending more time on this, but it's really actually this is the focal point. I'm going to switch my brush into a wider one, and I'm still using a round brush. Are you bored yet?